Hi BookTube, it's Missy, and today I wanted to give you guys a tiny book haul. I wasn't planning on buying any books this month, and it's the 30th, so we only have one more day left, but I went to the library and I stopped at the bookstore there, which is always a bad idea, and I found 4 books that I wanted to share with you guys. This is also going to be a quick tag, a book clock tag. I was tagged by Penelope's picks, thank you, and so I'll do the little mini haul and then the tag. So the first book that I purchased was Atonement by Ian McEwan. I saw this movie and I hated this. Oh, this isn't even the book cover. Saoirse. I hated her. She was the devil girl. I couldn't believe the whole movie surrounded this little tiny, I was going to say the B word, she's awful garbage. And, but I thought, ooh, I want to read the book. And they had 2 of the covers there. They had this one and the movie cover. And I always like getting the original covers or close to the original covers. Who knows how many times that this went, this changed covers. But I don't like having the movie covers. Anyway, so I got Atonement. Next, and this is horribly ripped, and I am so sad because it sounds really good, and it's called Gargoyle by Andrew Davidson. And let me take off the dust jacket because the front's pretty too. And it's a fire. Now, this is about, as he recovers in a burn ward undergoing the tortures of the damned, he awaits the day when he can leave the hospital and commit carefully planned suicide. Who knows what this is about, but I looked it up on Goodreads, and it seemed tempting. And it was $1. All these books are $1. I love dollar books, because seriously, if I don't like this, then it didn't really affect me. That's what a free soda at McDonald's or some other dollar menu item. Okay, now, whew, is this not cute or what? This is called The 13½ Lives of Captain Blue Bear, a novel. I've never heard of this. I barely could find it on Goodreads. It's by Walter Moores, and it's got, it's just got little pictures in it. Little tiny pictures. I don't even know what this is about, but, hello, pirates. How cute. And I'll show you one more. There was a map, I think, at the beginning. Yeah, look. Totally cute. So I'm excited to read this. And then lastly, I got Falling Kingdoms. This is the first one. Again, $1. There's a little bit of, you can see water damage. And there was like, it almost looked like someone spilt like coffee on it. But it's the first in the series. I'm looking at myself instead of you guys. It's the first in the series, and I've heard lots of people read it or talk about it, and I would name people off and have little shout outs, but I can't. They're girls. I can't remember their names right now. But those were the 4 books that I bought. Now on to the book tag. The first question is, how fast do you read? I can read a 500-page book in one day. Just depends on whether the book is gripping enough for me to like just indulge and just eat it up. Otherwise, a 500 book could last 2 days to a week depending on how interesting it is. The next question is, how many books do you read in a year? Last year I read 65. This year my goal on Goodreads is 150. I've already read 20 or close to 20 this month, so I don't see myself not being able to reach that goal. I tend to become obsessed quite easily with things, and so my obsession right now is reading and book-related things, whereas before it was World of Warcraft. I'm a huge Alliance fan, and I play that game, but for like 7 years straight I was just playing that game and only focusing on that game. So I'm doing something more conductive. And is it conductive? This is what happens when I get home from work and I try to film something. Anyways, next question. How many books are on your TBR list pile? Now, I have close to 400 on my TBR just because all of the, I watch your guys' bookshelf tours, and that gives me an idea of what I want to read. And then so I'll go through all of your shelf tours, like however long it takes, and I will write down every single book that looks interesting to me, and then I'll go on Goodreads and find out what book, if it's a series, and I'll write down all of those books, and then I slowly borrow them from the library. And so just with only 2 bookshelf tours that I've watched, I've watched the Katie Tastic and the Little Book Owl, and both of their shelf tours has already given me 200 books, and I already have like 200 books on my Goodreads that I want to read, and then that doesn't even include all the new stuff that comes out. And so I am constantly, and what about the things on my bookshelf? Those weren't even included in the other bookshelf tours. So I have like at least, I want to say 400. So back to the other question. Based on how many books you have read and how many books you read in a year, how long will it take you to get to the end of your TBR list? So if I read, say, 150 books in a year, like I plan to do this year, and I'll just make it even, and I'll say 300 books on my TBR list, and I didn't look at any other books, and I was just zoned into the 300 that I have on my list. It'll take 2 years. It's doable, right? I think so. Maybe. Maybe I will be super busy and have a social life and actually go outside and I won't read anymore. Who knows? All right, number 5 is how many years have you been reading? I started reading when I was about 4. I lived with my grandma when I was little, and she was adamant about me reading to her a chapter book, 1 chapter every night. So by kindergarten, I was already reading Tom Sawyer, and I was the only kid getting to go to the prize box because I had all of my charts filled up. So I've been reading since I was 4, and I didn't get serious into reading until I was 12 and started on the Nancy Drew series, and that's when my obsession with books took off. So number 6, based on how many books in a year and how many years you've been reading, how many books have you read in your lifetime? I didn't bust out a calculator for any of this. I'm just guesstimating. So I've been reading like every single year since I was 12. And when I was little, I would probably read 5 books a year, maybe more. Who knows? But I didn't start actually like keeping track until last year. And 65 is a lot. Before that, it was probably 20. So it says based on how many books in a year and how many years you've been reading, I don't know, 400 maybe? 400 books? I'll say 400 books. That way I'm not too high and crazy, and then I'm not too low and totally miss out. Number 7, how many hours do you spend reading? Now, here's a little TMI. I read in the shower. I spend about 10 to 15 minutes getting warm and reading 1 chapter of a book. Sometimes the book's chapter is really short and it only takes me 5 minutes. Sometimes it's longer than my imagined 15 minutes, and then I'll just, put it on the toilet and then continued on with my day. But I do read the 15 minutes then, and then I drop off my son at school, and while I'm waiting for the bell to ring with him, I read another 15 to 20 minutes with him. And then I listen to an audiobook in the car, so that's another 20 minutes, and then I come home, do my stuff, whatever, chores and everything else, and then by 6 o'clock at night, I'm starting to read again, and then I'll sit next to my husband while he's on the computer, and I'll read from 6 to 11. So overall, it's usually 2 to 6 hours a day where I read, and people might say, oh my God, don't you have any other things you're supposed to be doing? And I cook dinner, but I cook and read. So I'll be reading and I'll be cooking. And if I'm, doing anything else, I have the book with me and I carry it around the house. And sometimes if I can sneak it in, I'll read something that isn't scary or isn't, too lovey-dovey with my children, or they'll listen to my audiobook or whichever, or if I'm, scrubbing floors, I'm listening to an audiobook. So there's always a book going on, either by audio or by physical copy. Next is, how many hours do you spend in book-related activities other than reading in a week? So that's booktubing, book blogging, and stuff like that. I would say about 3 hours a day, so 21 hours in a week. It may or may not be, because we have to think about weekends too. I love to watch all of the new videos, and I'm subscribed right now to 50 people. So I will watch all of your guys' videos. I will comment on all of those videos, and then I will go on to Polyvore and make my little outfits because I love fashion, and a lot of the times I will make book-related fashion as well because I have a couple groups that I moderate, and one of them is novel style, and so I'll take a book cover that I'm reading at the time and I will create an outfit to go with the book cover, or you know, characters in the book and stuff. So the next question is number 9. Would you like to change that ratio? Would you rather spend more time reading and less time on book related things? And no, I have, so that's 6 hours of reading, 3 hours of booktubing or book blogging or shopping, and I have window shopped till my heart's content. I have little wish lists on everything. Book Depository and Book Outlet and Barnes & Noble and Amazon, and I write all these books down and I make little notes on everything. It's obsessive and ridiculous, and my husband groans. But hey, he likes guns and he likes games and he likes, you know, video games, and everybody has their hobbies. And lastly, it says anything else you would like to add, or who would you like to tag? I am horrible with questions, and so I don't have anything to add to that. But I can tag a few people now that it's the end of the, I can tag a few people. So I am tagging Chapter Stacks and Jessie the Reader, and let's see who else. Katie Tastic. I don't think I've seen this one on her channel. She hasn't even been on for a while. And let's see who else. The Booktuber, and I'm just going to stop there because I don't want to mess up anybody's names. Thank you all for watching.